you go bankrupt. And there's a penalty for bankruptcy. Your credit sucks. You're very difficult to get a loan. Very, very difficult for people to trust you again. You have to earn that trust back. And even then, it's always going to be a stain in your record.
Absolutely. He needs money.
You think he's going
Once
broke?
again, come on. Fighters like that always go broke.
Yeah, he's stupid. He's an idiot. He loves the fame and he loves the money. So ultimately, if you're just that money hungry and that fame hungry, you're going to just do whatever. You don't care what it is.
Joe Rogan openly slammed Jake Paul, saying the constant lawsuits and rumors of staged fights have left a permanent mark on his boxing image. According to critics, Paul's eye-catching record now feels empty, built more on careful matchmaking and hype than real credibility. Even if the legal noise eventually disappears, the damage to public perception won't. In combat sports, trust is everything, and once fans start questioning authenticity, victories lose value and records stop representing legacy, becoming nothing more than forgettable statistics that linger as a stain far longer than any big payday ever could.
There's a price that you pay that is not...
Many believe it simply wasn't worth it, as accusations of a fake fight exploded after the Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua matchup, with fans pointing out odd moments they felt didn't add up. People questioned how Jake managed to survive longer against Joshua than Francis Ngannou did, despite the clear difference in power, experience, and pedigree. What was promoted as a massive crossover showdown quickly turned into a breeding ground for suspicion, fueled by leaked training clips, strange betting patterns, and outspoken voices claiming the event felt more like entertainment theater than a legitimate sporting contest.
Fake Paul I call him, against Anthony Joshua. Massive unit, two-time world champ, still got a big punch. I think he's mentally fragile at world level if he goes against the big guns because of the knockout, especially the Dubois knockout when he got fucking splattered. You know what I mean? In round 5, and he got hurt early on and then he got done. And he's not been in the ring for 13 months.
Yeah.
But can you see a world in which Jake Paul is competitive in this fight?
No.
How do you see the fight going if AJ takes it serious?
Numerous commentators called the matchup ridiculous, highlighting the massive gap in size, experience, and background between Paul and Joshua, with many insisting it leaned far more towards spectacle than real competition. A YouTuber turned boxer with a 12-1 record stepping in with a former two-time heavyweight world champion who has battled elite fighters throughout his career struck many as completely unbalanced. Some viewed Paul less as a serious challenger and more as a lucrative opponent, reinforcing the belief that the fight existed to generate attention and money rather than showcase authentic boxing.
From Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. What have we got here?
As I look at it, for the fans, it put boxing still on the map because it keeps boxing relevant. Having exhibition fights like this, different celebrities and different things like that. I look at it as a fun thing for fans and stuff like that. I don't really take it seriously, because we in the business of boxing. That right there is just exhibition stuff. But I'm hearing they say it's a real fight. But yeah, it's a real fight because both guys are getting in a fight. I'm still the one that be thinking certain things are scripted as well too. So, but we'll see. I always say may the best man win, and main thing about it, may those guys go in there and have a hell of a lot.
The controversy intensified when Simon Jordan claimed Anthony Joshua could have ended the fight whenever he wanted, but chose not to. Jordan suggested the bout was intentionally dragged out to meet Netflix's entertainment demands instead of boxing standards, arguing that Joshua's power, timing, and experience were on an entirely different level than Paul's. A quick knockout, he claimed, would have hurt the spectacle and streaming appeal, so the fight allegedly needed extended rounds, drama, and tension. Though no proof was offered, his comments echoed widespread fan belief that when massive money and streaming platforms are involved, entertainment can quietly overshadow competitive truth.
Posted on Twitter after the fight. Jaw broken, heart and balls intact. That's a good thing. Time to rest, recover, and return to cruiserweight. I mean, he's coming out of it as if, well, yeah, I got battered in the end, but boy.
That's what he will do. I mean, it depends what you think this was. I mean, I never felt it was anything other than entertainment. I'm not surprised that Anthony Joshua could have knocked Jake Paul out anytime he wanted to. He didn't want to.
So why didn't he?
Because Well, when you're on a platform like Netflix that turns one-part episodes into a 6-part series, why would you think that part of their entertainment model is to have a 30-second fight? Why? You watch a Netflix series, you can watch it and you can go, well, I get the gist of it. Why have you got to turn it into 10 episodes? Because I'm dying with boredom after episode.
Are you telling me that Netflix probably emphasised, listen guys, take this as long as you can?
Anthony Joshua didn't step, irrespective. I sat to all these guys, whether it be Spencer or Paul Smith, talking about the fact that Jake Paul couldn't run, didn't have the football.
Ryan Garcia stirred debate on social media with a blunt and provocative take that quickly caught attention across the boxing world. While acknowledging Paul's effort, Garcia compared him to Gervonta Davis, stating that Davis would have handled Paul far more brutally, possibly ending the fight even faster than Joshua did. Many analysts agreed with Garcia, arguing this level of matchmaking does not represent elite boxing. Even after the final bell, criticism continued, with some insisting the Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul fight should never have been made at all.
Fair play to Jake Paul. He has a lot of guts, and the fact that he wasn't carried out of this fight on a stretcher, certainly I guess you can say is a positive. But what did I think about this? What did I think about Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul? Look, it felt like Anthony Joshua carried him. It felt like Jake Paul brought in as much of a negative anti-style as possible, circling away, constantly holding Joshua, constantly falling to the ground. Again, while you're certainly going to give respect for the YouTube star turned fighter for having the guts to put on this type of show and to stand in there for as long as he did until a clean right hand in the corner when Paul was absolutely exhausted, dropped him and ended the fight. This is not elite boxing. And we knew that coming in, but if these fights are going to be sanctioned as official fights, like the Mike Tyson fight from last year.
Adding more fuel to the fire, Oscar de la Hoya spoke about Jake Paul's earlier bout with Mike Tyson, suggesting that fight was also staged. He claimed Paul paid Tyson to secure a favorable result and pointed out that many observers noticed Tyson appearing restrained and far less aggressive than expected in a true professional contest. De la Hoya emphasized this wasn't an isolated situation, implying a recurring pattern of carefully controlled outcomes throughout Paul's boxing career.
Fight was. I do believe it was scripted. And I believe that Tyson was certainly held back. Look, I'm a fighter and I can see it. It goes on the record and it was sanctioned. So Jake Paul paid to get the W on his record? Bruh. For what? For your own personal satisfaction? Bruh. I keep telling you, if you want to be a real fighter, like you say you want to be, what are you doing?
Despite Tyson denying that the fight was scripted, his performance left many fans underwhelmed and questioning whether it should even count toward his official record. For a fighter of Tyson's legendary status, the noticeable lack of intensity and aggression stood out sharply, leaving lingering doubts about how genuine the contest truly was and casting a shadow over its legitimacy in the eyes of the audience.
Recently broke some news about how he spoke to one of the Paul brothers and that they had an agreement that no one was supposed to get severely injured and that the fight had to last at least through the 6th round. As I was watching the fight, I'm like, damn, it looked like Mike came out a little hot, and I saw him do this one thing where he kept biting his gloves. I know there was a big age discrepancy here, right? Jake Paul being 27, Mike Tyson being 58, of course. But I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, is he biting onto his glove to hold back? Because it looked like he had something there. Even some of the jabs Mike threw, I'm like, he stopped his punch. I'm not trying to be conspiracy theorist here, but thinking to myself, I'm like, I don't know if Mike completely exerted himself or he just got really tired.
I don't know about it being rigged or not, but I do feel bad for people who really are invested in the sport.
You wanna know why I also think it might be a bit rigged? When the fight ended, Jake Paul kept calling out other fighters and he kept referencing, you guys need me, you guys need me. And I'm realizing he's meaning his money. So if boxers and people in the industry know that, hey, if we go get with Jake Paul, we'll make...
Some critics said they wouldn't rule anything out, especially after pointing to unusual rules during the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight that appeared to favor Paul. One alleged clause reportedly punished Tyson financially if he knocked Paul out too early, raising serious concerns about whether contracts, not competition, influenced the outcome. These details only intensified frustration, with many fans openly expressing anger and disbelief over how the fight was structured.
I already know I'm mad about this fight. I really wasn't even going to talk about it because I already felt like it was a setup. But when Trick Daddy Dollars posted this on Instagram, it really just confirmed and solidified everything. So, Trick Daddy Dollars posted this on Instagram, and I'm going to read it to social media. So, it says the rules for the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight are designed to favor Jake Paul. These include: the rules are extremely favorable to Jake Paul. The contract will incentivize Mike Tyson to lose and give Jake Paul an opportunity to choose himself as a winner. The first stipulation in the contract will punish Tyson for knocking out Jake because he is paid on a sliding scale per round. If Tyson knocks Jake out in the first round, he would receive no money. If he knocks him out in the second round, he would only make a small amount of cash. For Tyson to make the most money, he needs to survive all 8 rounds, which means avoiding knocking Jake Paul out. If the fight goes to a split decision, it favors Jake Paul because the judges have to be approved by Jake Paul. I'll let y'all read that. I knew it was a setup. Because you know what? Mike Tyson had a lot of open air opportunity to smash Jake Paul.
David Hay offered another angle, suggesting Jake Paul may be underestimating what it truly means to face a genuine elite fighter. Hay noted that Paul could be relying on experiences from allegedly scripted bouts, assuming he could navigate a fight with Joshua the same way. However, Joshua reportedly refused any form of prearranged outcome, insisting the contest be real. Hay emphasized that this puts Paul in unfamiliar territory, as he now faces a skilled, uncompromising opponent rather than someone willing to play along for money or publicity.
Go into this fight with Jake Paul with the same mindset. After seeing him fight beat on points a 58-year-old Mike Tyson, my opinion is no. I think he feels zero fear in this fight. He's in a unique situation where he's going into a boxing ring with someone he doesn't believe deserves to be there. So is he going to be paying the price in training? Is he going to be getting those early nights? Is he going to be pushing himself and sparring to get the very best out of himself like he did for the Ngannou fight? Unknown. I don't know. I don't think he will. I don't think he'll want to risk having any hard sparring just in case he gets injured. Because if he gets injured, he misses this $75 million payday against someone he doesn't believe will be good enough to be a legitimate sparring partner for him. You know what I mean? So it's a very unusual situation, very, very unusual. And, you know, obviously all the advantages are in Anthony Joshua's favor, except this one, except the mindset factor. Jake Paul has nothing to lose. He's got everything to gain. Him reaching round 3, round 4 is a win, in my opinion, and in many people's opinion. If Anthony Joshua doesn't detonate his right hand or a jab off of Jake Paul in the first 30 seconds, a minute, and put him in problems, you know, some people feel that he's underachieved or he let boxing down. You know, people don't consider Jake Paul a real boxer because he's got such a big profile on social media and he's got that background that he's come from. But he's dead.
Doesn't count. It's like, well, it kind of does count. If I have you working out on the mitts from a year ago and I have a new tape today and I can juxtapose those, I actually can see some timing. I actually can see some speed. I actually can see some footwork. I can see some power, and I can compare it. Now, Jake is in a wildly difficult spot. Boxing is unlike, by example, track and field. Track and field is all about personal records. You do not need to be faster than the guy standing next to you. right? Now you can win and you can get trophies on that, but it's not actually your goal that your coach is working on you with. You just today want to be faster, throw further, jump higher than a previous version of yourself. Boxing doesn't work that way. It is straight. It doesn't matter how good you are. It is 100% comparative to how good is this guy. I understand that. But as human beings, we have to start somewhere. And I think there are many things that are going to be wins for Jake. I do not subscribe to the idea. Now he does. He will not agree with me, but an older version of himself, as he looks back, will see that Chael makes a very fair point. There's a number of things that are going to be wins or not for Jake. Now, Joshua's got one. Crush that man, get your hand raised. That's it. Well, I don't see it like that for Jake. I don't see it like that. And I know you guys don't either. I know you don't, because so many people that are predicting this fight won't even happen. Or that are predicting if this fight happens, these guys are going to be nice to each other. What does this word exhibition mean? Right? There's all these things where you're trying to take away, and you're not necessarily wrong. If Jake shows
someone who's been boxing for like less than a decade, he has had no real professional opponents other than Tommy Fury that were legitimate world-class boxers.
I don't even remember what happened in the Tommy.
He lost a close decision, but it was a good fight. It was a good fight, though. He's a good boxer. If he wasn't a YouTuber, people would be way more impressed with him.
Yeah.
The problem is he was like a famous kid, and then no one took him seriously.
Yeah.
But
oh, and then he started too with like more spectacle-ish fights. People were like, "Oh, this is your." He fought, Nate Robinson, like a basketball player.
But the thing is, he knocked Nate Robinson.
He knocked him
dead.
the fuck out.
And
yeah.
it's the way he did it that I was trying to tell people. I'm like, no, that was skillful. So like, there's like boxing matches where you see two guys just slugging it out. One guy lands a punch, and yeah, he landed a good punch. What Jake did is he slid back and landed a punch.
Yeah.
It's like the athleticism along with the intelligence, the technique. I'm like, he's not even doing it that long. And he's also hyper competitive, even though he's wealthy.
Yeah.
Like you would assume that wealth would take away your drive for
but
competition.
It hasn't, yeah.
He's also nuts, right? Just the fact that he's willing to fight the two-time heavyweight champion, former Olympic gold medalist.
Yeah.
A guy who's gigantic in his pride, built like a Greek god.
Yeah.
And you're going to stand, and he's a one-punch killer. And you're going to stand in front of that guy. And he avoided shots till the 6th round. He just started getting tired.
Yeah, his movement in that fight was crazy.
It was very good.
Yeah.
It was very good.
He was really keeping him moving around the whole ring. And then
you can't afford to get tired.
You can't get
That's
tired.
the thing is, like, he gets tired in a lot of his fights in the later rounds. You should really sort that out. Because if he had a much bigger gas tank, like if he was training with like some of these elite world-class strength and conditioning coaches and just worked on his cardio, he'd be beat